Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, and royal well. Peace and blessing, salutations to the hopeful elect of Israel. Alright, this is just a quick warning. Okay, avoid this ingredient right here called L-cysteine, if that's how you pronounce it. It's in bread, mainly, and it's made from either horsehair or human hair or duck feathers. Okay, so you cannot eat that. It's unlawful. Okay, if that ingredient is in the bread product, then do not get it or do not eat it. Okay, but the main ones I'm going to cover right now, well, also this. Anything with cheese has something called enzymes in it. Now, these enzymes, depending on where they're derived from, is what makes it lawful to eat or not. Okay, if you have to look into these products. Okay, don't just go eating every, cheese. If you go to restaurants, don't just, don't be so quick to order cheese. All right, like a hamburger, or a cheeseburger. It's better to order a hamburger like with restaurants than order cheese, because you don't know where it's coming from. Okay, but now don't be quick. Basically, don't be quick to order cheese or to eat cheese without looking at it. Okay, because you look at it, it's like, well, it's cheese. No, it's a dairy. No, but they actually put pork enzymes in there sometimes. Okay, there's certain cheeses that derive their enzymes from pork, and they're called porcine enzymes, which makes it unlawful to eat. Okay, so a lot of you brothers that eat like Doritos, that's unlawful. Cheetos are probably unlawful. Okay, certain like American cheese slices that you buy at grocery stores can be unlawful. You need to check. Okay, whether you have a scan app or whether you look into it further, that's up to you. Okay, but and I know we can't keep the law completely, and truthfully, they probably put pork in everything, they just don't tell you. Okay, but it's still important to try our best. Now, this is the main one I want to deal with. It's something called monoandiglycerides, okay, or glycerides, which is an ingredient in basically all breads. Okay, it's in pretty much every bread. There's some that it isn't, but it's in pretty much every bread. Now, the thing is, monoandiglycerides can be derived from many different things. Okay, it can be vegetable based, it can be from beef, or it can be from pork. Okay, and I avoided it for a good amount of time, like completely. But yesterday I ate pumpkin bread that had monoandiglycerides in it. But I ate it after I looked at this. Okay, now once again, it doesn't mean jump right in, eat all the, eat everything that has monoandiglycerides. You got to look it up. Okay, you got to look up the product, you got to look at the company, and see if you can find information on if it has pork in it, if the monoandiglycerides is derived from pork. Okay, if you can't find it, then pray on it and go by faith. Okay, that's all we can do is go by faith and trust Yahweh Shai that they won't allow us to put pork in our body. But okay, I read this, going right down to the point. It says monoandiglycerides used in most breads and baked goods, as well as in a wide variety of other foods. Okay, are formed by chemically joining glycerol to fatty acids found in animal fats or vegetable oils. Okay, and that's actually something interesting, because I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to eat fat. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to eat fat or blood. But that fat, not eating fats, could be talking about eating fat like on steak per se. But I'm not 100% unsure on the fats. But if it's derived from pork, then you cannot eat it. Okay? Then you cannot eat it. That's why, it's best not to go to restaurants and fast food places. But if you do, then try your absolute best to avoid cheese and even, if possible, bread. Because buns that they use for hamburgers, or, buns for chicken sandwiches or whatever, you may think, well, it's a chicken sandwich. Yeah, but the bread could have pork in it. Okay? Just to put that out there. But ultimately, just pray and go by faith, man. Because we're going to be saved by faith and works, okay? Not by, if you accidentally eat pork, or, you're not sure and you eat it and there's pork in it, but you still don't really realize that, you don't know what it's derived from, then you could just not eat it. Or, if you pray and you have faith that isn't, I'm just saying, like, just putting this out as a warning, man, okay? You're not going to, if you accidentally eat pork and you still don't realize that there was pork in there and some ingredient, doesn't mean, oh, you're going to be destroyed. No, it doesn't mean that, but I'm putting this out there as a warning so you can try your best, okay? Now, if you want to just avoid mono and diglycerides completely, by all means, go for it, but that's in pretty much every bread product, and I'm sure you're going to come across a bread product eventually. But otherwise, look into it, see where it's from. If it doesn't tell you, then pray and go by faith, okay? But also with the enzymes, it's the same thing. The enzymes, it may not always tell you, but you have to go by faith, because enzymes can be derived from pork. Gelatin, that can be from pork or it can be from beef, all right? But I went down and I looked at this, and, I'm not sure this is true. And, of course, we don't deal with statistics, okay? We don't care about what the percentage is of, there's a blah, blah, blah % chance that it's pork or... No, we don't do that, okay? But, this just might, help out a little bit if you know that monodiglycerides is pork or you've seen that. Okay, it says down here, based on the data given above, the percentage of vegetable oil sourced monodiglycerides, which is what we can eat. Okay, we can eat the vegetable oil ones. Okay, or the vegetable oil sourced, the ones derived from vegetable-based stuff. The percentage of vegetable oil the percentage of vegetable oil sourced monodiglycerides commercially used today in the United States is also approximately 70%. Okay, so that means 30% is from beef or pork or animal fats. Okay. Now I looked at this and I was like, okay, because I thought at first, because I didn't really look into it completely, I thought at first that mono and diglycerides was all pork. But I looked it up, I did research on it, they're not all pork, okay? And apparently, according to the statistics that this person put together, 70% of the time for sure it is from vegetables, all right? Now, once again, that doesn't mean, well, I'm just going to eat it. No, okay? Look deeper into it. See if they put up, see if anybody asks them the question, or if they, have it online. Like, there's a brand called King's Hawaiian's Rolls, or King's Hawaiian. And they make breads, okay? And I looked up their stuff, and on their thing it says that for all their bread goods, or for a good majority of them at least, they use their mono and diglycerides they're derived from vegetable-based things. So you can eat those. But if you were to scan it or whatever, and, avoiding mono and diglycerides, you would, it would say don't eat it. But that's why you need to do further research, okay? And a lot of brothers, I feel, they don't research it. They say, well, there's no bacon or sausage, or there's no, any of that, like obvious pork things in it, so they're just gonna eat it. No, but you need to research the things that you're eating, man, because stuff like this, the mono and diglycerides, sometimes could be pork. The enzymes could sometimes be from pork, and then you're going off. You're eating pork, okay? And they obviously, and people wonder, well, why do they put pork in like every fucking thing? Because they want to keep the Israelites going off, because they believe that the Israelites constantly sinning is going to keep them disconnected from Yahweh, okay, which is our power, the name of the Heavenly Father, and His Son Yahushai, okay, which is the Messiah of the nation of Israel. Okay, that's why they do these things. But that's why we need to be sober-minded with the things that we eat, okay? So like I said, for a while, I didn't eat monodiglycerides at all. I stayed away from it. Then the Spirit was on me to do more research into it, and I found out that a lot of the times, or at least some, I should say, because you never know if this person is lying, but at least some of the times it's not derived from animals, all right? Sometimes it's from vegetables, okay? Which, means you can eat it, all right? So that's what I prayed over, I prayed on it, and I went by faith, and I believed that there was no pork in what I ate, okay? But it's important to do this research before you eat it, all right? So knowing this, don't, next time you see mono and diglycerides on a thing, which, like I said, it's usually in bread, okay? Like if you get a loaf of bread or a bun, like hamburger buns or hot dog buns, whatever, it's probably going to say mono and diglycerides. So, now seeing this doesn't mean, okay, throw it away or, whatever. Look into it, okay? Look into it. Go by faith also. We always have to go by faith, all right? There's a couple of scripts. This is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and the cloven and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. All right, and swine is pigs. Okay, and pigs play an important role to the to nature, to the ecosystem. Okay, they're basically garbage disposers. They eat, stuff like waste, man. Like from other animals, they eat stuff that people won't eat, or I mean, not people, but other animals won't eat. They clean up the planet. Okay, just like crabs and lobsters do, they clean up the sea, which is why we're not supposed to eat them, because they have their own job. Okay, now it doesn't mean you have to hate pigs. Like, oh man, it doesn't mean you have to hate the animal. Just don't eat the animal. Okay, you're not supposed to eat them. It's against the law, which means it's a sin. Okay, it's a sin to eat pork. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, this is Deuteronomy 14:8. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. So don't touch a dead pig, all right? And don't eat their flesh. So don't eat pork, okay? So, Lord willing, this was good information for you, Akim Wafim. Whether you want to avoid mono and diglycerides completely, or whether you want to just look into whatever products you may have, that's up to you, okay? Because, obviously if there's a good chance, which, like I said, we don't go by chance, we don't go by statistics, but this is the only way I know how to word it, for lack of better terms. Instead of throwing away certain items that say monodiglycerides, look into it, because it may not be from pork, okay? You need to be circumspect. It may not be from pork, so you may not have to throw it out. You don't want to waste money, obviously. You don't want to waste food. So if there's no pork in it and you're throwing it away, then you're just wasting food, man. So that's why you have to look into it. All right, don't just throw away everything. But like I said, next time you go to the store, if you want to just avoid it completely, that's up to you. But mono and diglycerides is not always pork. Okay, and according to the statistics, a lot of the time it actually is from vegetable-based. Okay, but that still doesn't mean don't look it up. Okay, still look into it. Same with gelatin. Well, gelatin, honestly, I'd probably avoid altogether. Okay, I would avoid gelatin altogether completely. Okay, I don't think that's worth, looking into. I think that's mostly pork. Okay, avoid gelatin for sure. I would say cysteine or whatever. Avoid that, which is also in breads, but that's not in every bread. Okay, at least as far as I know. Just things like that. Monoglycerides, I think, is the same thing. I think that's sometimes pork, sometimes not. So you'll have to look into that too. But I'm not completely sure about monoglycerides. But the point is, you have to look into things you eat. Okay, just because it doesn't, just because it says that there's, just because it doesn't literally say the word pork, or just because it even says, whatever, or even because, there's no bacon on it, or that doesn't mean that there isn't pork in it, man. Because if you get a cheeseburger, there could be pork in the bun, there could be pork in the cheese. So you really got to look into these things, man. That's why if you do go to restaurants or you do go to fast food, it's best to get things like, for example, if you went to a restaurant, it's best to get, for example, chicken tenders and fries compared to ordering a cheeseburger. Okay, because it's way less likely, in fact, probably less likely at all, that there is pork in the chicken tenders and fries compared to the cheeseburger. Okay, now it doesn't mean that there is pork in the cheese or the burger buns, but still, if you can't look into it, it's sometimes better to just avoid it or go by faith. Okay, because it's all about faith. All right, so Lord willing, this is edifying to this extent. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waharakak Wadash. The honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and Royal Well. Peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom.